welcome to an episode of Marvel Mad. I'm your host, Dwayne the Captain Coffer, and today, in this episode of Comic Corner, we're going to talk about Secret Invasion. Now, this is a lot different to what the series was. Obviously, the series was more like gritty, similar to how the Winter Soldier's film was, sort of thing. So it's like really spy, espionage, sort of stuff like that. This is like one of the big, like, main Marvel comic book super events, sort of thing, like crossover events that has literally everybody involved, sort of thing. So it was a bit of a shame it wasn't to that scale, but I still enjoyed the series and I love this comic book. This comic book is like one of my favourite comic books, like, to read, sort of thing. It always gets me gripped and it always gets me more intrigued and see little things I never noticed before, sort of thing. So let's just go through the events of Secret Invasion. Now this one is like, again, it's not like the series at all, sort of thing. It's on a massive, bigger scale. And it sort of starts off with Iron Man finding a dead corpse of Elektra. And they're like, well, shit, how long she been like that, sort of thing? And he's in a room with Hank Pym and Mr. Fantastic and, like, the people he says he can trust, but he's obviously not too sure. And they sort of like go into this thing saying, right, we need to figure out how long they've been here, what's going off, sort of thing. But in the process, obviously, they notice this ship crash landing into the Savage Lands. So Iron Man gets because this is just set as well after the events of Civil War. So obviously the Avengers teams are fractured massively. You got the Pro Registration Act Avengers still of like Mr. Fantastic, Iron Man, Black Widow, all that sort of stuff. And then you got the anti-registration team of, like, your Luke Cage, you've got Spider-Man, I think there's Wolverine, that sort of stuff in them sort of teams. But I think Black Widow ticks off the anti-registration ones, and they're all like, right, look, there's this Skrull ship crash landing into the Savage Lands, which we've not seen yet in the MCU, which would be quite interesting to see when they eventually come into the MCU, because there's like not a big team, but there's a nice bit there as well that they can explore. So obviously you've got Wakanda, it's in the heart of Africa, I think it was. So the Savage Lands, that's in the heart of Antarctica. I think it is, probably to re-correct me that lot. But yeah, they've got these two big, like, things that lot. So they go to the Savage Lands, pro-registration, anti-registration, and they go to this ship to find out what the hell was going off, sort of thing, who the hell's in this ship, thinking it's a load of Skrulls. And what appears is like all these different heroes. So you've got like a different version of, like, an old version of Luke Cage, you've got old version of Cap, old version of Spider-Man, you've got Mockingbird, you've got who was it, Wolverine, you've got loads of them. I was like, what the hell's going off here, sort of thing. And all of a sudden, after that door opens and they come out saying we're the real ones and everything, the Skrulls, like, initiate their, like, plan and literally just decimate loads of things out there. So Sword, which for some reason they've called it Saber in the series. I don't know why they couldn't call it Sword. Probably keep on line with, look, it's Star Wars in there as well, it's Saber. But yeah, so they destroy Sword in the comics. That gets fucking decimated out lot. Obviously you have people flying in space. It's got, like, the little blue thing that Star-Lord presses on his chest and makes him alright in space. They press that, well, not press that, but they have that on and makes him okay in space and everything. So yeah, but the Saber, the Sword ship itself, like Earth's defense, gone, because a load of these Skrull ships start coming in. The helicarrier gets, like, just decimated and starts falling out of the sky. You've got the Thunderbolts mountain that's got, like, your Penance, Venom, Norman Osborn, that sort of stuff. That gets, like, taken over by, like, it's supposed to be Captain Marvel. It's a Skrull version of Captain Marvel, the original one, not the female one, the Carol Danvers, the original Captain Marvel. And also the Fantastic Four building, that gets, like, swallowed up. I think it's by the Negative Zone, because obviously they're one of the big main powerhouses of Earth. And then also this time Stark gets, like, a virus sent to him, transmitted to him, and he drops like a sack of spuds. Don't know what's happened to him, sort of thing. But obviously when this happens, this sort of the pro and anti-registration team sort of join up to fight this team full of people, as we'll call them at the moment, in the ship, and they just start fighting each other out, and just like, what the hell is going off, sort of thing. So they fight them. At this point, Stark gets taken out of there, sort of thing, trying just gone to make sure he try and heals up and try and gets back to normal, sort of thing. Vision is fighting the Sentry, and this is where like Vision sort of like, we know he's a bit dodgy because he trying to convince the Sentry that he's a Skrull and he's bad and that sort of thing. So yeah, it's all just like kicking off, sort of thing. And then while they're fighting, they get split up by a massive T-Rex that's come stomping through, and then everybody just like scatters, sort of thing. But this part, when they all scatter, they find, I think it's like Wolverine, I think it is, they find a dead corpse, and it's Spider-Man, but it's a Skrull actually. So it's the old Spider-Man costume. He's been stamped on, and it's actually a Skrull. So they're like, hang on a minute, they've all got to be Skrulls in that ship. So that leads them to start thinking, what the hell's going off here, sort of thing. But in this point, obviously, with all them ships flying in from space, New York has had like a massive wide-scale invasion with the Skrulls, and they start landing in New York, just tearing shit up. So the Young Avengers try and go over there, try and save them, basically, and fight them off, sort of thing. In the process of all that, obviously, Iron Man's trying to get himself back together and sorted up, sort of thing. Spider-Woman comes wandering along, thinks she's okay, but obviously not. She starts talking to him, saying, "Right, you're a Skrull. You brought all this along. It was your idea. You're going to be praised a hero," sort of thing. So she's messing with his head, and he's like, "Oh no, I'm not. Don't bring this in your head," sort of thing. Again, while all that was going off, Nick Fury comes into New York, and he's like new version of Howling Commandos. He comes into New York and starts like taking nobody for fucking granted and taking all the prisoners out, like bang, 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 bang. I'm taking you down, sort of thing. Just, nope, not a chance. So yeah, so they're all getting decimated in that lot, sort of thing. He's not even taking like, I think he does take the Young Avengers to his like a shield underground place where nobody could find him. That's where he's been hiding out, sort of stuff. And after all this, one of the best like widespread comic book pages I've ever seen in any comics. I absolutely loved this part, and it's like all these big massive figures, like all around the world, sort of thing. They're all obviously Skrulls, and they're all saying like it's really good that the Skrulls are here. They're going to bring a new foundation and thing along, and it's going to help everybody out. We'll bring a new frontier on to Earth, sort of thing. But the people that's in this picture, I love going through it because there's so many people. Probably missed a few people out, but looking at it, you got like Tiger Woods, you got like Doctor Doom, you got Namor, you got bleeding Vladimir Putin, you got bleeding Osama bin Laden, you got Barack Obama, you've got like Tony Stark. But this Tony Stark is not obviously the one in the Savage Lands. So that's where you know, hang on, he's not a Skrull, but they have got a Tony Stark Skrull doing this widespread announcement, trying to convince people, which is really nice, a really nice thing. You've got Tom Cruise, you've got Chris Rock, you've got Steve Jobs, who's got the Apple symbol behind him. It's got Cartman from South Park. I love how like Cartman's a Skrull, that's just brilliant. You've got the Pope, you've got like Dalai Lama, you've got Paris Hilton, I think it's Paris Hilton, with the silly little chihuahua thing, I think it's her, sorry. You got Oprah. There's probably loads more that I've missed out, but honestly, it's just one of the best widespread like comic book bits I've ever seen. It's just so clever, and just having all these different people, and I loved it, absolutely loved it. But yeah, after like I said earlier on, that some of the agents that got blew up in the sword thing had them little wibbly wobbly things that Star-Lord has on. They've got them on, and she sort of floats to this ship, sort of infiltrates it, because she finds out that that's where Mr. Fantastic's been kidnapped by a Skrull, which she find out is to be Hank Pym. He's like took him up there, sort of thing, and like they're trying to like widen him up and basically sort of like torture him and like get stuff out of him. This agent Abigail, she managed to infiltrate it and sets him free. And obviously Mr. Fantastic's going to be pissed. He's like, where's my children? Where's my family? Oh, sort of thing. He chokes her. He expects her to transform back into Skrull. Obviously don't. So she gets his help, and they figure out a way with this massive like laser rocket launcher gun thing to tell who's a Skrull, who's didn't, which you never actually see in the series, which is a bit weird. You'd think they'd have like a big thing like that to know who's a Skrull and who's not, sort of thing, which is a bit weird. Like at the end of the series where you have vigilantes taking out people who they think Skrulls and actually is not, sort of thing. Like I think the English Prime Minister woman gets killed and she's not actually a Skrull, she's actually human. So it's a bit weird why they didn't do something like that, which would have made it a bit more like, damn, it's really to the comics here, sort of thing. But again, I enjoyed it. I thought it was alright. But with Abigail's help, her and Mr. Fantastic go back to the Savage Land, and he shoots this big rocket launcher gun thing into the middle of them, and it literally it's like a big like wave that shows who's a Skrull, who's not. So you got like the likes of like Spider-Man, obviously not Spider-Man, like Mockingbird, Captain America, I think the Luke Cage one is revealed. Just loads of them get revealed. They're Skrulls. And at this point, the Mockingbird, Clint Barton, who's Mockingbird's wife, Bobby, thought she was the real deal, sort of thing. But then when he figures out he's not, he goes nuts. Alright, let's go and fuck them all up and kill them all, because he's pissed, sort of thing. So again, they sort of join forces again. Iron Man's sorted right now. I think he gets back into one of his old suits, and they go to find the big main army of the Skrulls, sort of thing. Do the Avengers, like, Avengers assemble, sort of thing, which is always brilliant to see. And then they just have a massive like ding dong and battling it out, sort of thing. But obviously during this big battle, I think Spider-Man's joking, oh, it's alright, it can't be that important because the Watcher's not turned up. All of a sudden you turn up, there's the big man himself, and they're like, oh shit, something's going to go down, sort of thing. What actually goes down is, unfortunately, Hank Pym has given Janet Van Dyne a new formula to like grow herself up, sort of thing, like giant, like Hank Pym does. And this formula is tainted, and it's basically like a self-destruct mechanism where she like not blows up, but like tries to poison and take out a load of the Avengers and stuff like that. We're seeing her go down in this like not flame, but just seeing her get hurt and killed pisses off the Avengers, and they are fucking pissed. So they go to like that big massive sort of thing, and as they do it, who gets the kill shot is Norman Osborn. So everybody's like, damn, like it was all seen all around the world, Norman Osborn is the saviour, sort of thing. And yeah, it's like, damn, sort of thing. So as obviously the Skrulls know they've messed up, they're done now, all the ships start trying to evacuate and fly off. So obviously you got the Flyers, you got Sentry, Thor, who's just come back from nowhere. He just comes back, sees it all, similar to Captain America. But Captain America in this one is the Winter Soldier, because obviously Steve Rogers gets like killed in Civil War. So yes, they're like taking people out and stuff. But yeah, the Flyers go up, Vision, Sentry, Captain America, not Captain America, sorry, Thor, take out all the ships now. But they find a ship, Wonder Man as well, I think Wonder Man's there, find a ship that's got people in it, sort of things. So they bring that down, open it, they're all ready to like kick the shit out of them because they think it's more Skrulls, and it's actually all the people that have been like taken over, sort of thing, and body swapped, sort of thing. So you've got like the original Mockingbird, Beast, Elektra, Spider-Woman, that sort of stuff. And obviously they're all pointing their guns. He realises although they're not Skrulls, they're actually the real deal in that lot. And like, obviously Elektra and Spider-Man are like, what are they looking at? What have we done wrong? So they try and explain, look, it's not you, it's what's been using your skin, sort of thing. And at this time, like people start to like drift off and console each other and stuff like that. So obviously Thor just fucks off because of what happened in Civil War. Because obviously during Civil War, Mr. Fantastic and Iron Man, I think it was, used Thor's DNA to create Ragnarok, who kills Giant Man in that sort of thing. So they're like, we did bad. Obviously Booker, as the new Captain America, he turns his back because obviously it was Tony's fault that Steve got killed in Civil War as well, sort of thing. So they're just like, no, we're not having anything to do with this, which is, I always love that bit as well. It's like, you think they're all going to patch it up. It's like, nah, not a chance in hell, sort of thing. And then at the end, obviously now, obviously Baxter building starts getting fixed up as well. So I think the other Thing and Human Torch trying to fix it all up. But obviously Mr. Fantastic and Sue Storm go back and see the kids and they're all fine, try and build the Baxter building back up to normal. But at the end, obviously, Norman Osborn goes to the president, and the president's like, right, S.H.I.E.L.D., done with, out. Tony Stark, done with, out. It's his fault all this has happened. You, Norman Osborn, you're the new face of security for America. And this all leads into like the next big arc in series called Dark Reign, which I might try and find the comic book out and we'll have a read of that. We'll go through that as well, sort of thing. But yeah, that's where I'm Patriot comes from. You've got Dakin, Wolverine's son, he becomes the new Wolverine. You got Venom, obviously, he becomes the new Spider-Man. It's like all the villains get promoted into these hero spots, sort of thing. It's such a good series, really good comic book series. Again, we'll try and find it out. But as he gets all this power and that lot, he's actually, him and his cartel, he's helping all these other villains out and stuff to gain power and what they want, sort of thing, basically. And the cartel involves obviously himself. You got the Hand, Doctor Doom, you've got Emma Frost of the X-Men, you've got Loki, female Loki in this one, and Namor, and they're trying to influence the higher ups and become the more superior and powerful people. Similar to the Illuminati, but obviously a bad version to the cartel. But yeah, the comic book in total, it really is a really good series to have a look at. So yeah, I've got the omnibus thing of all the comics and that, and it's just well worth going through and have a look at it. I really rate that comic book series. Well worth going to have a look at. And yeah, sorry it's been a while for Comic Book Corner. It's been a bit of a hectic thing with again, just all thoughts going off. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. If there's any other comic books you'd like me to have a look and read that lot, put them down in the comments. We'll have a look and I'll see if I've read them, and we'll go through there and see what it's like, sort of thing. I'd like to say thank you very much, and again, I'll see you on another episode of Marvel Mad. Thank you very much, and goodbye.